Just for the record, this dog doesn't belong to me. He belongs to the little girl next door, but he spends more time over here. So I went to the dollar store and bought this crappy dog bed for him. Are you comfy? Can I get you something? A big bone, glass of milk? I like my guests to be happy. Say goodnight, YouTube. You better not have any fleas. They'll be knocking on the door in a couple hours looking for you. In this video, we have the new 2017 Audi A4. Instead of the standard front-wheel drive version, we have the more expensive Quattro version, which has an all-wheel drive system for excellent four-wheel drive traction. The Audi PR people say this is an all-new vehicle. Of course, exactly what that means is subject to debate. There is an external styling difference, although not a radical one. I don't think a lot of onlookers are going to notice the difference between the new one and the older ones. The Audi fans will, of course. Audi says all of their 2017 A4s come with these fancy LED headlights, so we're going to take them out and see how they perform. Here we have the headlights on a wall 100 feet away, a nice bright light, but barely reaches out. Now we go to high beams. More than adequate light there. Back to low beams. Here we have the high beams on a building 300 feet away, plenty of light. Go down to low beam. Doesn't quite reach, but bright enough for city driving. And if you're paying attention, you can see the heads-up display reflecting in the windshield, giving her miles per hour, which is 0. Here's a better shot of the heads-up display. On backcountry roads, the high beams do an excellent job of illuminating the pavement. Low beam, high beam. The base price of an A4 starts around $34,000, but as always, the cars they send me are loaded up with lots of goodies, and this one was definitely a bit more money. Here's the window sticker from my vehicle. I'm not going to read off all the goodies. I'll just scroll down with the camera. If there's something that interests you, you can always freeze the frame on your computer. And there's the total tab. What a bargain. Under the hood, a tiny 2-liter with a turbocharger cranking out 252 horsepower. Fuel economy is rated 24 in the city and 31 on the highway. It's hooked to a 7-speed automatic, dual clutch automatic by the way, with a manual shift override. For those who like to shift manually, you'll be happy to see there are paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Most German cars put their paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which is where they belong. This way they can be reached regardless of the steering wheel position, unlike the Italians who like to put them on the steering column where they can't be reached all the time. This is a far better place to put them. If you're interested in the real-world fuel economy, here you go. The past 563 miles, a 25.2 mpg average. We'll be taking this out on a freeway trip to see if we can improve these figures a bit. Audi has always had first-class cabins, and this 2017 version is even better. We get a nice gauge cluster with lots of useful information and a lot of variations, like so. What's interesting, if you like navigation, you can pull it up on the gauge cluster, even though you have it on the info screen. I guess that's one for the left eye and one for the right eye. There's no longer a need to use the knob to program your favorite stations. You simply find one and press on the button and it's locked in. A lot simpler than that previous one from last year. If you're picky about driving conditions, here you go: individual, dynamic, auto, and comfort at your fingertips. The climate control system, simple to use as well. A couple knobs, buttons. This 360-degree camera system makes parking a lot easier. A very useful option to have. We get an excellent menu system with settings, Audi smartphone, Audi Connect, map, navigation, telephone, media, radio, sound, and vehicle settings. With Drive Select, you can put the engine, transmission, suspension, or steering in the comfort, automatic, or dynamic mode. For most of my driving, I'm going to be using dynamic in all four. I didn't get an owner's manual, so I don't know what ACC means. It might be cruise control, but whatever it is, it will be dynamic too. The glove box is too small. I guess you'll just have to live with it. The console doesn't have much room, but it'll do for a wallet and a pair of sunglasses, I suppose. There's adequate room for two medium-sized adults in the second row seating. Trunk space is average at around 13 cubic feet. Yes, we do get a spare tire under here. A donut, which is better than nothing. You won't find any spares in BMWs nowadays. Okay, that's enough show and tell. It's time to take this out for a little drive. Previously, one of the advantages of high-end German cars is they had excellent steering and feedback. Now that manufacturers are going to electric steering instead of hydraulic, those days are long gone. In all fairness, the steering is quick and responsive, so I'll give it a pass, but if the Japanese can put feel in their electric steering, I don't see why these German engineers can't. Just saying. This engine is pretty mild at low RPM, but hit the throttle. This baby moves. Perfect brakes, by the way. The 0 to 60 time is listed at 5.7 seconds, which is what I've been getting. For the next couple of days, we're going to take the A4 out on some highway trips. We'll see what type of fuel economy figures we can get. Here's our first fuel economy test, 31.1 mpg at 69 miles per hour on a 55-mile trip. Here's our second fuel economy test, 33.3 mpg at 66 miles per hour. Here's our third fuel economy test, 29.1 on a 50-mile trip. If you watch my videos, you know who we're going to see next. Where is he? There he is. Freddy the Frog. He's big because of the contaminated water they drink out here. Say goodbye, Freddy. Up until now, we've been driving for fuel economy. From now on, fuel economy is out the window. We're going to drive the Audi the way it was meant to be, quick. If you're going to take this Audi on high-speed corners, you want to put the transmission in sport mode and the rest of the vehicle in dynamic mode. Tightens things up a bit. On tight mountain roads like this, the pedal shifters come in handy, giving you the exact gear you need. I can deal with having a giant frog. Looks like we found a giant duck. Quack, quack. Another reason not to drink the water around here. If you're going to drive a high-speed German car, you need to keep your eyes on the road. Don't be looking down there. That's a bad idea. Got to keep looking here. Write that in your rule book. All this high-speed driving around corners took its toll on the fuel economy. 3.5 hours, 212 miles. 21.5 mpg, which actually isn't bad considering. I'm not complaining. This concludes our test of the Audi A4. I really don't have any complaints aside from the price tag, but hey, it's in that price class, so nothing you do about that. I do think they could improve the steering a little bit. Other than that, this is a top-end German car. A nice sports sedan that competes with BMW and Mercedes. It does a great job of it. Definitely worth looking at if you're looking for a German sports sedan.